Hello and welcome to Mission Nonprofit. I'm your host, Robert Kam. On Mission Nonprofit, we feature a local nonprofit organization from the Thurston County area. And this month, we're featuring Olympia Family Theater. And with me is Samantha Chandler. And what is your position at Olympia
My
Family
official
Theater?
title is Managing Director, and I'm also one of the founders.
Oh, a founder.
I am.
So I read on your website you guys were founded in 2006. How did that all come about?
Well, it's kind of funny. Jen Ryle, who's the other founder and who's our artistic director, she and I didn't know each other, and I was teaching at the time, and I ran into a friend at the library, and she asked me what I was doing. I said, well, I'm thinking about going to part-time next year because I want to start a children's theater. And she said, oh, do you know my friend Jen? She wants to start a children's theater. You guys should meet. So we got together at Traditions and had some tea, and in April of 2006 decided we'd start a theater company.
What was it like when you started it up? What did you guys start doing?
Well, the first thing we did was, we had to pick our shows and then figure out how we were going to fund it, where we were going to produce it, how we were going to cast it, and all that stuff. So we just started putting the word out to people that we were interested in doing this. We rented the Midnight Sun for a show in October of 2006, and we did Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And the first show we produced with our own money. I mean, we basically both put in $500 and said, hopefully we'll get it back when it's all over and see where we can go from there. And it was such a great success that we moved on and produced our next play, and that's how it started.
So it's called Olympia Family Theater, and it's because you use children, and or is it just for shows for families?
It's shows for young audiences, and we do use kids in some of our shows, but that's not always our goal. It depends on the show. We do one show a year that's an all-youth production, and then for the other shows, we cast kids as is appropriate in the play. Like when we did Christmas Story last year, we had kids playing, the kids in the story, because it would be weird to have a bunch of adults playing kids in that particular story. In other stories that are more fantastic, we often have adults playing kids. So when we did Goodnight Moon, we had an adult playing the little boy, and that's pretty common. But so I mean, for us, it's not only that it's family theater that's appropriate for all ages. It's also that we want to include families in having that experience together, and that's really important.
I saw Goodnight Moon.
Yeah,
it was very good.
Thanks.
Yes, I've seen a lot of the shows. You guys, you've done. You had a Bunnicula. I saw Bunnicula. I saw Christmas Story. You did. The Phantom Toll Booth, I saw that. Actually, I've seen them all the ones this year.
This year,
I've seen
great.
Yeah. And the Animal Farm, and then the last one was Goodnight Moon.
Yeah.
All really good. So, and my kids like it. I bring
Great.
my kids, and they sit through it, and they're real good. So you do a good job entertaining the kids and everything.
Yeah.
So how does the casting work, and how does it all come about? How does it all get put together?
Well, we are part of, the last 3 years we've been part of the Olympia Audition League. We actually helped start it, which is a group of different theaters who come together and do unified auditions, which is really common in bigger cities where there's lots of theaters, like up in Seattle. They have an annual unified audition that's open to all of the different theaters. But we decided we want to do something small scale in Olympia, so some of the smaller theaters decided to get together and do that. So in the summer, we have a big open casting, and at that point, we get to see everybody who's available in the summer to audition. They tell us what kinds of shows they're interested in for all the different theaters, and then we call them back if we're interested for a specific show. So we try to get all of our casting done in the fall for the full year, partly because one of the amazing things about Olympia is we have so much theater, but the challenge of that is, you only have so many people to go around to do all the shows. So we want to try to get people scheduled so they know in March, I'm doing this show for Olympia Family Theater, and then I don't want to sign on to something else. So that's how we do it.
Are these all volunteer
Yes,
actors?
yes, absolutely.
And so the, I know you guys have to build the sets and everything, and are those volunteers too?
Yeah, everybody, we have 2 paid staff people, and that's Jen and me. Everybody else volunteers their time, which we are incredibly grateful for. We do a little bit of giving stipends to people who have specialized skills, like for our set designers and our lighting designers and things like that, it's a lot harder to find people with those skills to walk in and do that. We have an amazing lead carpenter, David Nowitz, who's been involved with OFT since our second season. His wife was on the board, and they're both retired, and we said, oh, we need somebody to build a set, and he had all these carpentry skills, and he said, well, I'll come help with Rapunzel, and that was in 2008, I guess, or 2007. And he's been on board since then, and he has been a lifesaver. He has a giant garage, and we have work parties out there where we paint, and he builds everything.
Just builds that out of his house.
He builds it out of his house for the most part.
We've
had some great good fortune this last year working with Ballet Northwest in being able to use their warehouse space and doing a little bit of our work out there, like in the middle of January in his open garage. It's not such a great place to paint sets, so we kind of move things around as we need to in the year.
And you have a space downtown for rehearsal.
Yeah.
But most of your shows are at the Washington Center, right?
Yeah, 4 shows a year at the Washington Center, 1 show at South Puget Sound Community College in the winter.
In the black
partly because,
box.
all in the black
All
box.
the black boxes of both theaters. yeah.
Right, because the Nutcracker takes over downtown and there's nowhere in the building. They've got to stage all those ballerinas and they hold them in the black box as part of where they are. So we do our winter show out at SPSCC, and that's been really great for us. We actually started out doing a couple of our shows there in our first couple seasons, and it was just last season. Well, we just ended 2011, 2012 as of January 30th. So we're moving into our 12-13 season. So a couple years ago we moved downtown. So this is our second full season downtown. But our downtown space is great. We just moved into a space in September of last year.
Oh, it's that new.
Yeah, we've just been in that space. Before that, it was renting office and renting storage and renting rehearsal and renting camp space.
It's over there on State.
It's on
isn't it?
State,
Yeah.
right downtown, really close to the bus station, right around the corner from the bread peddler, which is dangerous, but fantastic.
Dangerous for your
Dangerous
figure.
for our, yeah, exactly. But that's where we have our camps and our rehearsals and our office space. And we do some work parties there, smaller things. We did paper mache when we did Animal Farm, and we built that awesome windmill. That was all made of paper mache, so we had people in there doing paper mache.
Oh man, those sets are amazing. I saw the sets for was it Goodnight Moon? You had all those backdrops rolled in and
Yeah.
And the Christmas Story. I remember
Yeah.
the backdrops for the Christmas Story. Those
Yeah,
were really good.
we've had really amazing creative people working with that. In the last couple shows, we've actually had a professional set designer in Jill Carter, who's been around town, worked for 20 years at Harlequin, and
Oh, neat.
yeah, and so she brings. It's been awesome for us, and it's also a little scary. Like the bar has been raised.
Yeah.
Our production values continue to increase, which is obviously something we want to have happen. But we can only do that as long as we have the people to make it happen. So.
I bet the audience out there right now is wondering how they can find out what your next show is and when they can come and see or when they can get involved in some way or another. So I just want to tell them the website, which is olyft.org. So you can go there and you can find out what the next shows are. And they've got a couple of great shows. Go Dog Go, October 12th through the 28th is coming up in 2012, and Wind in the Willows, November 30th through December 23rd, and in 2013 you're starting it off with James and the Giant Peach, February 1st through the 17th, so go to olyft.org to find out those dates, and they can buy tickets on the website? Or?
Actually, tickets for next season are not on sale yet because they're built through the Washington Center,
They
so they will
buy
be
it.
on sale this summer. I don't know exactly when, probably end of July, early August. They can order season tickets directly through us.
Oh, there you go.
So
That's what they want to do.
That's what they want to do. They definitely want to do that, so they can pick 3 out of 5 shows, and then they get a discount for season tickets. So they can just contact us through the website. There's our email address there. They can give us a call, and we can get them that form. And yeah, it's a great season. We actually have 2 world premieres this year. The Wind in the Willows is an original adaptation that was written by local actor and our board president, Andy Gordon.
Oh, nice.
And he's
Some
been working on that
originals.
for the last couple years because they actually wanted to do Wind in the Willows. He and Jenny Greenlee, who's directed for us, were really interested in doing Wind in the Willows. But out of all the different scripts they read, they kind of found them lacking in one way or another. So they said, hey, let's try this out and see what we can come up with. So
What if people want to perform with OlyFT?
they should come and audition in July, the end of
Is that
July.
in Seattle? Were you saying that was?
No, they do unified auditions in Seattle, but ours is right downtown. We do it at the
Oh.
Washington Center.
Okay.
It's actually the last Saturday and Sunday of July. I believe it's the 28th and 29th.
Oh, that's coming up.
Yeah, and if
Our
they
viewers are
go-
going to see that.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, if they go to the Olympia Audition League, if they search for Olympia Audition League, either on Facebook or on the web, they'll go to a website and you can actually pick a time that you want to audition, and you come with your monologue or your song if you want to do a musical, and you get, I think, 3 minutes, and you'll be auditioning not only for us but also for Prodigal Son Productions and Theater Artists Olympia, and Harlequin will have a representative, and Animal Fire Theater. So
Blanket audition.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a great opportunity to get in front of a bunch of people. And it's been really great for us because people who might audition for one theater company don't necessarily know about the other theater companies and what they do. And so there's been a lot of great cross-pollination.
So it brings you a lot of new people in
Yeah.
from people that are auditioning for other shows and vice versa.
Right. Yeah. So it's been terrific.
So, and you know the last show I saw, Goodnight Moon, you had a band.
Yeah.
They were great.
We have an awesome band.
Is it the usual band?
They
Do
have become our usual band. The first show that they did together was Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Bad Day, Very Bad Day, which was a show last spring. And Stephanie Clare was our musical director for that. And she recruited, Rich Sikorsky, who's on guitar, he's been in some bands with us, but they became kind of an ensemble last year with Scuff A Cuff on drums. And then we had a different bassist, but now we have Brian Johnson, who did Goodnight Moon. And I think he also did Bunnicula. And so they've become kind of our house band. We'd love to have them for everything because they just bring such great flair and style, and they're just great to work with. Really
And they're
generous.
volunteering.
And they're volunteering.
It's amazing.
It is. Yeah, you got to love it to do it.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's probably a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
It's a lot of weekends.
Yeah,
and
you're giving up 4 weekends. You know, you're giving up a month of weekends. The nice thing about our theater is we actually do Saturday matinees. So for performers, it's kind of unusual because you actually get a Saturday night off. Most theaters, you're going to be doing a show on Saturday night.
That's true.
So
yeah.
it's kind of nice for musicians and actors. They can plan other things for their
With
Saturday
the matinees
nights.
on Saturday, and do you do Sundays
Sunday
too?
matinees.
Yeah.
We do Thursday and Friday nights and Saturday and Sunday matinees.
Yeah. That's a good schedule.
Yeah.
But it works. Yep. So bring your kids out and come see a show, right? Bring
Yeah.
the whole family.
Yeah.
So, and then how are you guys supported? Because I know there's probably people out there, nice philanthropists that want to support the arts.
Yeah.
And what can they do to help you guys out?
Well, you know, there's lots of great things that they can do. They can certainly, you know, contact us and send us a check. You can go to PayPal. We actually accept money through PayPal. We have really generous state employees who contribute to the combined fund drive every month. They, you know, allocate a little bit of their paycheck to go to us every month. We have fundraisers every fall and spring, and we love to invite people to come see what we do and learn more about us there. So in the fall, we'll have one probably in early November. That's more adult oriented. It's at the Water Street Cafe, and so there's drinks and hors d'oeuvres and live music. And then our spring fundraiser is more family oriented, where we reveal the coming season. So, you know, we would love to find those people who don't know about us, but who really value the arts for kids and want to see that continuing. And so they can certainly contact us.
What are those dates again? For
The fundraisers?
Do you
Well, the
have them,
first
or do we
one,
need
I
to-
don't have it off the top of my head because we haven't finalized it, but it's usually the first Saturday of November,
Okay.
and then the next one will be in April.
In April? So they'll find that on the website.
Yeah.
olyft.org.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So, you know, people are going to need to see some of these things. So I thought we'd put up some pictures here, and my girlfriend takes the pictures for
She
your
does a fabulous job.
all of your I guess your promotional
Mm-hmm.
shots. So maybe we can. And she told me that she'd give me a CD that we can put some of those pictures in.
Great.
So we'll show some of these pictures of the different various shows throughout the season here, and. So I hope people enjoy looking at them, and hope it inspires them to come and see a show, because these are a lot of great performances that you guys have done, a lot of different shows, and I'm sure we've got pictures from the Bunnicula and the Christmas Story and the Phantom Toll Booth and Animal Farm, and then Goodnight Moon, of course, and I bet we might have some from earlier seasons as well.
Probably, yeah.
But let's see. I wanted to mention your shows coming up again. So the next one is in October.
Right.
Right.
That's when our season
Go
starts.
Dog Go. Okay, so you're down for the summer.
Right, we're doing camps. We're not. Really, I mean,
Camps.
we're not really down. We're pretty busy all the
Exactly,
time.
yeah,
But yeah, no
yeah.
shows going on. till
We're doing
October.
camps here at
Right.
TCTV too.
Yeah.
I know how that can be.
Yeah.
So, but tell me a little bit about the camps. How do people get involved with that?
Well, they can call us. They can go through the website. There's a page that talks about our different camps, and we do have camps through the third week of August, and they are for everything from 5-year-olds to 16-year-olds, depending on the week, and every one of them has a little bit different focus. So some of them are more musical oriented. We have one that's stage combat in August, which is really fun. We're doing one that's writing to perform, so kids are going to generate their own material and then produce it at the end of the week. And every week has a Friday afternoon sharing component where parents get to come and see what they've done, and
Great
you know,
idea.
which is really fun. Yeah, so that's been great, and we've expanded every year our offerings in the summer. So we have a wider variety of teachers, most of whom have been performers. I guess all of them have been performers with us at one point or another. So they all bring really different skills and backgrounds, which is really fun for the kids too. So yeah, registration is still available. There's a few camps that are full, but most of them still have a little bit of room.
Oh, good.
And I also did want to mention that in the fall we'll have auditions. We're doing a younger kids show every year. We do on the main stage. So Phantom Toll Booth that you saw in January was all kids, and James and the Giant Peach is all kids. So that's 12 to 18-year-olds, and that's we have auditions for that in the fall, kind of once school gets started again. And then we're also doing a younger kids performance program. We started that this spring. We had our first one, so those 6 to 12-year-olds have something they can do, and that's actually more of an after-school program. That's kind of a 4 to 6 p.m.
So that's
in the
going on during the
afternoons.
year.
Yeah, and that'll go on during the school year, and our first one will start in the fall. So we're going to do 2 this year because that was such a success. We're going to do 1 in the fall and 1 in the spring. And so parents who are looking for after-school activities, enrichment activities, can find that information on the web too. We haven't set the dates for the school year, but that's going to happen this next year.
I'm always curious about, how the kids get involved and how they get trained. They probably go through your camps. Is that true?
It's fun. I mean, a lot of the kids who have been in our shows have been to camps, but there are lots of kids who've been in our shows that have had other experiences through other great, theater education programs in Olympia, because there are other great shows, other programs. One of the things that's different about us is that we do 1 week at a time during the summer, and most of the other programs are 4 or 6, 8 weeks long. So for people who don't want to make that commitment to the whole summer, it's kind of a nice, we're going to try 1 week, we're going to try out musical theater and see if that's a good fit, and then decide from there whether they want to go through it.
One of our camps went to one of your camps.
That's right. Last year, you guys came and videotaped.
The Breaking News camp went to the,
I guess it was the combat.
Stage
Yeah, that's
combat.
Right. Yep.
It was very cute. And we had a little reporter there interviewing the kids.
Yeah.
Were you interviewed by her?
I was interviewed too, yes.
She had blue hair. Remember
That's
that?
right, she did at the time. She did. Yeah.
She was really
good. And then
good.
she was in our show in the winter.
I saw that.
She was in Phantom Toll
I
Booth.
remember seeing her in Phantom Toll Booth. Yeah. That's fun. Yeah, I know she was all about the theater, and she, we're kind of related.
Sure.
The television and the theater world, they're kind of related.
Yeah.
So it's good to team up like that.
Yeah.
We should do some more this summer.
That would be great.
I have a breaking news camp coming up. I might send some kids.
All right, please do. We'd love to have them. Absolutely.
So our guest is Olympia Family Theater, if you're just tuning in, and with me is Samantha Chandler. And so olyft.org is their website. And you can go there, find out when their shows are, or how to sign up for camps, how to audition. And some of the children that audition might not be through your camps. They just go through the regular audition process?
Yep, they don't ever have to have worked with us, or they don't have to have any experience. Really, for kids, our goal is to find kids who are excited and enthusiastic and willing to take direction. That's really, when people call us about auditions, they're worried their kids are like, my kid has never been in a show, how do they audition? We're like, well, as long as they're audible and we can, they can be loud enough and they're enthusiastic and they're willing to try new things. Mm-hmm. And that's the same thing we ask of our actors. We have actors who have lots of experience and who studied theater, and we have people who are just thinking, this looks like fun, I want to try it out. And maybe they're 40 and they've never done theater in their life, but that's the great thing about community theater, is the really safe, supportive place to try that out and see if it is something that you really want to pursue. Mm-hmm. So,
if you have the time to volunteer, but if you do, you're going to enjoy it, right?
That's right.
Yeah. It's so interesting being in the theater world and doing a show and just living it for so many weeks.
Right.
All those auditions, all those rehearsals, and then all those performances, and then it's just over.
Yeah. Yeah, which is hard for some people. But one of the things I love about theater, and I think is great, is that as adults, we don't get enough opportunities to make new friends. And I think it's one of those great experiences where people go out and they do something for 8 weeks, and you may make these great connections with people you'd never meet in other walks of life, and then some of those friendships will continue on.
That's true.
But it's like you could have this group of friends in this show and then a new group of friends in this show, and I think that's one of the really great things about it. And it's multi-age, it's very diverse in who's interested in it. They're not all as extroverted as you think. There's some pretty introverted people who do theater, but it's great. And one of the things that I'm I feel very fortunate about is that the feedback we get is that people really like working with us, that they really enjoy the environment we provide and the community that we've built. And again, we couldn't do it without volunteers. And if people don't want to do theater, if they don't want to be on stage, there's lots of other ways they can volunteer to help.
Like backstage or
or even just mundane things like database entry and mailing parties and office kind of stuff.
Selling refreshments.
Well, we don't do that. The Washington Center does that.
Oh, they do that.
Yeah,
okay.
They handle that. But helping with event planning and wherever anybody has an interest, we can certainly find a place for them if they want to.
The lighting board, the audio board. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's all those people dressed in black that carry the stage.
Exactly.
Stage hands is what they're called. Right.
Yep.
I'm sure you've probably been in a couple of productions.
I have. It's been a couple years. I was in Jungle Book. That was the last show I was in that we did a couple years ago, and I got to be a bad guy. I was Shere Khan, so that was fun.
You looking forward to being in another one of these?
Yeah, I would like to. Probably going to be in one this spring, but things haven't been settled yet, so I don't want to reveal.
Oh, well, we better not announce it on Mission Nonprofit.
But yes, that's something I'm looking for. And I'm directing James. I usually direct one show a year.
Oh, yeah.
I'm directing James.
And the directors are volunteers. It's a pretty incredible task there. I mean, it's probably a little bit more challenging working with the younger, actors and actresses. But I don't know, maybe they're just as mature as the adult actors?
I think it's individual. You know,
Yeah,
I
it
used
just
to teach.
depends.
I used to teach middle school. I like working with kids. You know, when I taught middle school, people would just think I was crazy to work with middle schoolers, and I said, you know, my sisters teach, you know, first grade, kindergarten. I would never want to teach that. I'm not as comfortable with that age group as a teacher. But, you know, everybody has the place they fit, and there are plenty of kids who take the theater really seriously, and they come prepared. And there are plenty of adult actors who kind of roll in a little late and they don't have their line, you know, so I think it just depends on the kid, you know. And I love working with kids, and I think that's one of the great things that we get to do is help kids develop their potential and help them find things they're interested in that they might not otherwise know about. So
Yeah.
I find that really gratifying to work with kids.
Yeah, I love those shows, and I hope people will go out and bring their families out. And the kids do great in the
yeah.
audience, you know. I mean, they're all quiet. They're just all staring at the stage just with fascination.
Yeah.
They really do. They don't make noise. They don't cry.
Right.
And it's full of kids.
Yeah.
Your
Oh,
audiences are just full of them.
We
and
hope
they're
so.
all so good.
Yeah, and it's
I'm
interesting because
impressed.
people will often call us and they want to know, is this okay for me to bring my 2.5-year-old, my 4-year-old? You know, and we said, well, again, it depends on the kids. Some 2.5-year-olds can sit still and focus for a really long time, and other kids aren't going to have that patience. But, I mean, Goodnight Moon was a great example because I know kids who brought toddlers in that were like a year old, 18 months old, and, you know, they were telling me how they were amazed at how enraptured
Focused
they
they were,
were
yeah.
because there was so much to look at. It's so bright, and obviously that one in particular, it looked so much like the book.
Yeah.
That, you know, kids walked into that theater and they just saw that and they were amazed because
Yeah.
it really was like walking into the story. People wanted to have their picture on the set, you know, because it was so colorful and so beautiful. And
I was amazed by the windows, or you know, the paintings.
Yeah,
the
the paintings coming
with
to
all
life.
of the
Yeah, that
coming
was
to
all
life, and
Jill
and I
Carter,
guess you
yeah.
had all those. What do you call them? The puppets. They're not
they
marionettes.
were
They're
like
kind of
little stick
marionettes.
puppets, yeah.
Stick puppets. and
Yep.
You're moving them up and down, and the cow jumping over the
Yeah,
moon.
we had great teens backstage. We have a group of kids we call the OF teens, most of whom have kind of grown up with us over the last 6 years, and they're often our stagehands or our tech folks. And the two girls who were backstage were both teens, OF teens, and they did all of those puppets and
running
set
puppets.
changes and helping all that stuff happen, which was awesome. It's been really great.
Do you guys have? When does rehearsal start for the next one? Then after
It'll
the summer camp.
It'll start right either the very end of August or beginning of September.
So it goes about a month or a month and a half.
Yeah,
or so?
usually there's 4 to 5 weeks before a show opens that rehearsal starts. With musicals, you need a little more time, so it'll probably be like 5 weeks out.
How often do they rehearse?
We usually hold rehearsals 4 nights a week. Not every actor has to be there every night, depending on the size of the role, depending on the show. Some shows it's easier to kind of say, okay, this scene we're doing now, and so we just need these people. Sometimes everybody has to be there all the time, and even if they only have 5 minutes that they're on stage. So, but definitely some people are there 4 nights a week, and then tech week, you know, we load in on a Saturday, and then they're in rehearsal basically from Sunday, all day long Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday night, then they have the shows Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that last week, they're, you know, every day for 8 days, they're doing theater.
You probably don't go too late though, because there's some children.
Well, for the kids shows, we try not to, but
Yeah.
tech week, you kind of have to do it when you can do
keep
it.
them there till
and you
11.
have to get them there. Yeah, well, we do like 6 to 10 at
Yeah.
the very latest, and we try to let the kids go early
It's
if we
a little
can.
bit late for kids, but not too bad.
Yeah, and if you know
that's
it's just 1 week that they have to get through to do that, then, you know, parents know going in what it's going to take, but we definitely are
Well, I
mindful.
appreciate you for coming on this show. I think we're going to wrap it up here, and I want you guys to tune in next month. Our guest is going to be BHR, Behavioral Health Resources. So tune in for that on Mission Nonprofit. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. If you know of a local nonprofit that's making a difference in our community, give us a call at 956-3100, extension 103, or send an email to rkam@tctv.net.